There is no football content at all. There is nothing on right now. Like, what am I gonna make a video on? Ooh, what if I did hot takes? Yeah. Let me ask the community for some hot takes. Alright, Instagram. Don't disappoint with these hot takes.
2 minutes later.
Instagram. What the hell?
Hello and welcome back inside the Brogan HILLMAN show. And today we have a good one. We have your awful NFL hot takes. Some of these are just wow. But anyways, let's not waste any time. To prove what I'm talking about, by the way, Christmas tree up and the setup. It's holiday season. I hope you guys like the Christmas tree, nice little element. But the first one is Mac Jones would be a good quarterback if he was on a different team. This isn't completely absurd. I feel like Mac Jones isn't a terrible quarterback. He's not completely awful, but at the same time, he's not the greatest quarterback. To say he's a good quarterback, maybe. It depends on what system you put him in. If you put him in a system like the Eagles or the 49ers, I feel like anyone could thrive there. He would be a good quarterback on one of those teams. But if you put him into a different team, it might be a different story. I feel like Mac Jones isn't the guy you're looking for if you want to grow a franchise into Super Bowl contenders year after year. I feel like he's not your guy for that. But in general, I feel like Mac Jones could be a good quarterback, an average quarterback, a mid quarterback on any team. So yeah, Mac Jones, a good quarterback on a completely different team. For me, honestly, it depends on what team he's going to and what system he's being put in. The second hot take we have is Tua is a system quarterback. Now, I find this to be a little crazy. Tua being a system quarterback, sure, the system has some to do with it. You could argue that for every quarterback. But the way Tua is able to make plays in the pocket, he's really good in the pocket, avoiding pressure. I mean, he gets sacked sometimes, but every quarterback gets sacked. He's really good being elusive back in the pocket, keeping his eye on edge rushers, defenders, D linemen come straight at him. He's able to move around in that pocket and make great plays, which is something that you don't have in a system. A system's just going strictly play by play. He's able to improvise throws, too. We saw week 1 that dart down the field to Tyreek Hill against the Chargers. Beautiful throw on 3rd and long to keep that game alive for them. That's not a system quarterback play. A system quarterback play would be throwing a check down or a slant in that situation. But he's able to run, make plays with his legs. He's able to get out in the pocket and make great passes, improvising out in the pocket. So I feel like Tua being a system quarterback, you can argue it a little bit, but I feel like overall he's not really a system quarterback. He's a baller. He's going to go out there. He's going to make plays game after game with his legs, with his arm. He can do whatever. He puts his life on the line for the team. We've seen this with his concussions. He almost literally put his life on the line against the Bengals. But I feel like Tua is not really a system quarterback, and he is a great balling quarterback. He's playing really well this year. Now, the third and the fourth hot take we have sort of go hand in hand. They actually sort of don't. They do go hand in hand. They're complete opposites. Lamar Jackson is the most inconsistent, overrated quarterback in the NFL. And then Lamar Jackson is secretly the best quarterback in the NFL. Two different people submitted this about Lamar. One's probably a Ravens fan, one's probably a Steelers fan. But here we have Lamar Jackson is the most overrated, inconsistent quarterback in the league. That is crazy. Inconsistent, maybe, but every quarterback at times can be inconsistent. You're not always going to play putting up 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. You're not going to play every single game that way, all right? So inconsistent in that remarks, yes, but every quarterback can be considered inconsistent if you look at it that way. That's looking at it from a way that you need someone to play MVP caliber every single week, week after week. But Lamar Jackson secretly being the best quarterback in the NFL, I can get down with that. Lamar Jackson this year, to me, personally, has been the best, most impactful player to their team. CJ Stroud, you could argue, but I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson on this one. Lamar Jackson, he just has less weapons. He still has Zay Flowers, don't get me wrong. Mark Andrews is injured right now. Isaiah Likely, Odell Beckham. but still, the way he's able to run that football and the way he's able to get looks in that offense and escape, make plays with his legs, do all this, we know who Lamar Jackson is. The way he's able to play his game is insane. And this year, I would take him over Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, any quarterback, Jalen Hurts. I would take him over any of them as of this year's performance. I feel like calling Lamar Jackson the best quarterback in the league this year is not an overstatement. It's not an over-exaggeration. I feel like he deserves that MVP award. Maybe that would be a whole separate thing. We have so many other people to be in consideration. Tyreek Hill, Brock Purdy's in there. I don't want Brock Purdy to win it. He's not even the most influential player on the team, but let me not get into that. Lamar Jackson secretly being the best quarterback in the NFL is not outlandish, and I agree that Lamar Jackson, as of now, is the best quarterback in the NFL. For the last two hot takes, again, these two sort of go hand in hand. It is the Houston Texans being playoff contenders in the next 2 years. Not just playoff contenders, Super Bowl contenders in the next 2 years. Along with that, CJ Stroud, as of this year, deserves to win the MVP. So let me cover the CJ Stroud MVP first. I feel like CJ Stroud definitely is very, very valuable to his team. Came in, made a huge difference off the rip with him. Tank Dell, who sadly fractured his fibula. He has Dalton Schultz, and that he has some other good targets. But CJ Stroud has come in, and he's been a guy they can rely on to make plays. Big games, game after game. One of the best rookies we've seen in a while. Probably the best rookie I've seen play in a while. You can throw him into the game, and you can expect him to make plays. He makes plenty of plays. I feel like him being considered for the MVP is a must. You need to consider this guy when going to the MVP voting. Does he deserve to win? Absolutely. He is a very, very valuable player. He'd be the first rookie to win it. I think maybe league history, maybe in a very long time dating back to like the first couple of seasons in these post-modern era. But CJ Stroud, I feel, definitely deserves to be talked about for MVP and definitely needs to be a guy you consider when voting for MVP. Now, the next thing we need to cover is the Texans being Super Bowl contenders in the next 2 years. That's the season after this one and then the season after that. I feel like that is a very good possibility. They're just getting more and more stock the next 2 drafts, next 2 off seasons, next 2 free agencies. They keep building their team. They're building them now, playing the way they're playing. Free agents are going to want to sign there. Draft picks are going to be probably around the mid rounds, maybe a little back in the 20s if they keep playing the way they're playing now, which you can find a ton of talent. They're going to keep loading that roster. CJ Stroud's going to get more and more game experience, more and more chemistry with targets like Dalton Schultz, Tank Dell, who are already playing very, very well at a high level with each other. If you give them time to develop, they get even better. You go out, load the roster even more. I definitely can see the Texans being Super Bowl contenders in the next 2 years. Thank you guys for watching the video. As always, I got a ton more hot takes to cover next time. So if you want a part 2, like, subscribe, share, and let me know. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, it's been Brogan. Keep God number 1, and I'm out.